So hello everyone, this is me Adnan Ghori, the founder and director of iWorkstation. I welcome you all to the iWorkstation BIM series week 5 by Ahmed Towfeequllah. So give you an introduction about Ahmed. Ahmed has over 3 years of experience in BIM management. His area of interest are the construction simulation, virtual reality and augmented reality in construction and total quality management. He has a BIM consulting and training firm named TQM in Hyderabad. He has master's degree in civil engineering with emphasis on construction management from BradleyUniversity Illinois. So I would like to welcome Ahmed Towfeequllah to present a topic on BIM impact of virtual reality. Yes, Ahmed, we can hear you now.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Adnan has pretty much given my introduction to you guys. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are clearly audible.
I just need to know how do I set up the presentation? Like how do I ping it up?
You can start sharing your screen, Ahmed.
Okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
Is it up?
Yeah, we can see your screen, Ahmed.
Okay. So, coming into this series, pretty much everybody knows what BIM is. I assume everybody knows. It is a digital representation of the physical and functional features of a building. My focus will be on the impact virtual reality has on construction. This is from the perspective of construction management. So yeah, innovation in construction, it is pretty stagnant. Unlike other fields, construction is very slow to absorb innovation in its process. One of the major reasons being the statement right here: our way is the only way. This is one of the most commonly heard statements whenever you approach a builder or an owner with an innovation that you are probably trying to introduce into the industry. So yeah, one of the major risk factors in construction, from my perspective, that is from productivity concern, is the uniqueness of projects, various locations, open environment, productivity, safety, and collaboration. Construction projects are pretty unique, as in you don't have, for instance, we can compare it to the automotive industry, where you have, where you are producing the same cars over and over and over again. In construction, you don't produce in mass. What you do is, just a second. Yeah. So what you do is, you have unique challenges with every project that you are doing. You might be constructing road wheelers. You will face certain issues on the same block of two wheelers that you are constructing. And construction project, you're essentially you are constructing the building in an open environment, open to all the challenges you face from the weather or high-rise locations, or it's a combination of all the issues that you might be facing. In easy terms, we call that as force majeure. It is the act of God. You cannot overcome them. You have to face them and move ahead with them. And productivity, which is one of the biggest issues the construction industry faces. I will speak about it in my next slide. Safety, in terms of safety, construction industry has the worst of records. And lack of safety is also one of the major causes of low productivity in construction. And collaboration is, again, a very big issue in construction. Not having a collaborative environment up until obviously BIM, had projects stopping in the middle for various reasons, design changes, cost-related issues relating to this schedule, or issues arising from the arbitrary issues. So my focus is on construction defects, productivity. Again, as I told earlier, I will be speaking in the later slides. Under productivity, one of the biggest issues is changes. Whenever, essentially, us as engineers or architects, we are able to interpret the design and perceive what we will be building. However, to the owner, it's just a piece of paper with lines drawn on it. So as and when the building is being constructed, as and when the building takes its form, the owners of, more often than not, they come in and, have us run around for several changes. They wouldn't like the wall they had constructed in the room, or many other issues. So this brings, it stops the project midway for carrying out the necessary design changes, quantifying the cost related to the changes, and again there might be again some arbitrary issues relating to the change. And rework, improper quality, improper craftsmanship, improper workmanship is one of the major causes of rework, and this accounts to approximately 2 to 3% of overruns on any given project. Accidents, it's obviously related to the safety, not following proper safety standards on the sites, improper handling of material, and obviously the natural calamities that occur on the site, whether it be weather related or any other issue or man-made issue. These accidents often cause the work to stop on the site, and the law might be involved in that, resulting in waste, essentially resulting in flow of cash without the site proceeding any further. This is the graph that I will be speaking on productivity. As you can see from the manufacturing industry, when you draw a comparison to the construction productivity, we can safely see that how much wastage a construction site produces. By wastage, I don't mean the materialistic waste. I also mean by the manufacturing waste. That is the rework or change orders, improper way of working, unnecessary use of work methodology on the site, unnecessary resources being deployed on the site, labor-related issues generally. Of the total wastage, that is the 45% of non-productive time, 28% alone arises from waiting on resources, instructions, and rework. Essentially, laborers or essentially laborers or the craftsmen on the site, they would come down, they would start off the day, and whenever they don't have what they would be requiring to carry out their day's task, they would just sit around, they would just lie around, they won't be coming up and asking you for the resources that they needed. There might be tools or any other material that they would be requiring to take their day forward. This is one of the major reasons of low productivity in construction, and waiting on instructions or improper instructions given to the laborers on the site, because they are unable to interpret what the design documents say. They would just be following the instructions given to them from the top brass. They would end up waiting on instructions if they have no proper supervision on the site. Again, that also results in wastage of time, because you will be paying them for the hours they spend on the site rather than the work they are doing. And again, rework arises from, again, improper instructions given to the laborers, or them being unable to interpret what the design documents say, or them being unable to perceive what the end product had to be. This is where technology comes in. So just to give you a brief on what essentially BIM is, this is the McClemy curve. When you follow the preferred design workflow, that is the delivery process, IPD, integrated project delivery method. As you can see, you can see the blue curve over here. In the pre-design, schematic design, and design development stage, whenever a change arises, the cost to carry out that change is far less compared to what it would have been if the project had already started. That is, if a owner is able to navigate through his facility even before a shovel has gone to the ground, if he's able to get that experience of how his facility would look like, or if an engineer is able to get that perspective of exactly what issues he might be coming up, and is able to pick and point at those several issues, then get those designs changed before even you have started the construction, the cost of design change would be very low. You won't have any wastage in terms of rework, or taking down the work that you have already done. So you're able to impact that design a lot more compared to what you would have in the construction stage at later on. So this is how the BIM platform is essentially built. The solution to all the problems that we have discussed is pretty simple. It's extensive planning, improved collaboration, and improved communication. All of that is again achieved by BIM. This is my expertise essentially. I prefer to call myself an expert in virtual simulations and virtual reality visualizations, if you will. So the benefits of BIM. I'm sorry, the benefits of virtual reality. It's like the ability to review the design and rehearse the construction or simulate the construction of the facility in a 3D interactive and immersive environment. It's give you the great ability to understand the building better, to perceive the design better, and to understand the intent of the designer, or the intent of why the building is being built. It gives you a lot more in your hand than simply going by the conventional 2D drawing methods. And VR essentially was developed for gaming experiences, and it has evolved pretty much more than just being a gaming experience tool to much valuable tool in construction planning and management. And just for the sake of it, spotting and resolving issues before the construction has started, as I was talking to you guys earlier, would give you a much greater value in the near term, and near term time and cost related rework related issues, and the long term management of the space. Long term also could be delivering the customer or delivering the client a space that he could have managed or used better, would give you much more value to the project. And also it allows the owners, designers, occupants, and contractors to have much better understanding of the project, and enables them to interpret the design. We are good visual learners. It's no secret, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So when you are presenting, a simple 2D drawing or a 3D photograph to a client who is unable to understand what space looks like, for instance, let's consider a bedroom. A client would be planning to use that space in so and so manner. Having a VR headset over his head, he would be able to understand how big his room is. He would be able to feel it rather than just view it. So yeah, that adds much more value to the project and helps the customer to make that key decisions. That would go a long way in making sure that his investment is used wisely, and he's provided all the best possible outcome from his project. And also, what happens is, when you are able to reduce all the issues upfront, when you're able to identify the key errors and issues, and possible issues that you may have faced moving into the project, and identifying the risky elements of the project, and putting much more emphasis on them as far as management is concerned, it goes a long way in helping prevent time and cost overruns on a project. That is what management is all about. It's about preventing any overruns in the cost or the time on your project. And also, more importantly, it reduces the request for information, the RFIs, which can help you save thousands of man hours on a single project. RFIs alone result in a lot of hang time on the project. That can be reduced when you have such high level of planning and communication tool. And also it helps in communicating between trades and remote remote access to the project to different clients that you get. RFI is request for information. This arises when, for instance, say a guy installing a window on the site, he wanted much more information than that was provided to him on drawing. He would raise an RFI, which is request for information, asking what all exactly the technical details the client wanted from him. That is when he raises the RFI. Using a BIM model, you would have all that information available within the model itself, compared to a conventional method. So yeah, BIM is much more than 3D modeling. It's also about information science and managing information better. So here is an example of coordination meeting. How teams have evolved in meeting. Traditionally, what happened in coordination meetings was people used to gather around, have a look at conventional 2D plans, and they used to try identifying risk on the project and whatever issues they might have perceived on the project. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. Have a look at it. This essentially is a coordination meeting between different trades, between different planners, and between different subcontractors, wherein they immerse into the facility using virtual reality and augmented reality headsets, and they are able to identify issues, mark them up, and send it to the concerned designers to carry out further changes on those particular elements. Have a look at it.
Is the exact same room in the last slide that you just saw. A little bit easier to understand. Now using NVIDIA Holodeck, what we can do is we can bring in the latest 3D model from BIM 360, and we can also bring in our trade subcontractors and have them collaborate in the environment at the same time. They can mark up any issues that they see, take a screenshot, and then publish that back up to BIM 360 as an RFI. But even better than that, they can actually go in and resolve the issues. We can hide walls, we can follow ducting, we can move pipes, and we can find a solution, all in real time. So the beauty of immersive environments is that it allows us to collaborate in real time. This saves us time, and this saves us money on our projects.
Yeah, it is actually BIM. It is actually a private life, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, for a case study, I've come up with two particular industries: the healthcare industry and restaurant. In healthcare, the benefits that you get out of VR is efficient use of space, because more often than not, particularly when talking about India, you have large scale equipments coming down all the way from Germany. So you would be able to plan your spaces better, and how you would be fitting in all those equipment, and minimizing staff travel. This is extremely important in case of healthcare and restaurants, because essentially you want the fastest route for your staff to be able to access different healthcare facilities, different rooms, improving sightlines. Sightlines play an extremely important role in restaurant and healthcare. How is that? Is say in a restaurant, a supervisor would need to keep his eye on the entire, all the tables and operational areas in his restaurant. So having him put on a VR would give him a better idea of how good his site would be in the facility. Same goes with the healthcare. You could have the nurse station particularly. They require a level of sight to be able to keep an eye on the patients and the various monitors they have up there in the room, and also simulating facilities for simulating facility for training. This would be better explained in the next video. Again, space management. You would be bringing in a lot of furniture. You would be bringing a lot of equipments with, and using VR would probably give you a better idea of how big or small your space is. And simulating facility for training. It's people would like to save a lot of time while the building is being constructed. So having a VR of that exact facility will help them speed up their training of staff, rather than waiting for the facility to be constructed and spending weeks or months on a plot to train their staff around the facility. Using VR headsets, they are able to smartly train their staff beforehand, before even the building is constructed. This way, they save a lot of time in operation. They could straight away from day one they could move into the facility and start working. So yeah, this is a unique video actually. This clip has been taken from a movie by the name The Founder. It's based on the story of two brothers, the McDonald brothers. They were the founders of McDonald's, the fast food franchise we all love. So yeah, these two brothers, they thought out of the box, and they wanted to reduce the cost of what they sell. Obviously, keeping the quality in the best in class. So what they did is they charted out an extensive they did extensive planning and simulations of their kitchen to make sure that their staff was being used properly, rather than they were focused on reducing wastage arising from motion of the staff. This is what we call as motion analysis into total quality management. Have a look at the video, then I will speak. So yeah, this is what I was talking about, the space management part. These people had to rent out a badminton court, and they had to run several simulations over a couple of weeks or so. So if technology was available back then, and if they were able to put on VR headsets, and if they were able to train their staff, they would have saved a lot of money, in rent, rather, they would have had to rent out that badminton court, or run several wasted sessions of people coming in, and planning the fastest possible road. This is one of the reasons McDonald's is a success. They have a smooth functioning layout in every one of their restaurants. So this is not something that an architect would be able to perceive, because more often than not, whenever a restaurant or something of this facility has been constructed, the person who would be in charge of the kitchen, or the head chef, would come in and have everything moved to his own requirements, to his own comfort. So having a VR would have remove this wastage from the construction, and this could go all the way up to saving about 17% of a conventional project costs. So yeah, that's it from me. Hopefully I will have more for you guys in the next sessions or so. Whenever we plan, I would probably like to have another second one where I would work that out with Adnan, and I will probably have my own device ready and up for visual live streaming of that workflow.
Sure. We can even take a few questions as of now from the people. If anyone have any question, they can ask. Yeah. Sure. Rajesh has some questions, so I'll just unmute you.
Hello.
Rajesh.
Yeah. Hi, Rajesh. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Just wanted to ask you that the prior video which you showed of the robots, what platform was it?
It was Revit Live, actually. Revit Live, as well as you have this plugin by the name Iris VR. It can be integrated in Navisworks, and you can have a virtual coordination meeting with all the stuff that you would be needing. And it's not necessary that everybody needs to be present in the room. You could be sitting in a different part of the world, and you could have a coordination meeting in the facility that you would be building.
Another thing was, is this really used in India at this level?
To be honest with you, it's not. But however, I have used it on one of the projects that I did.
Okay.
I tried bringing up the videos that I had made, but it's due to some technical issues, I couldn't bring them up.
Okay.
So yeah, I have used and benefited from them. We were able to save approximately, roughly 17% of the project cost by applying this VR and several other features of BIM.
Okay, because I would introduce myself. I'm Rajesh. I'm an architect from India.
Okay.
I'm doing my master's in Finland, and I'm working with a company called Tieto. We are into this BIM and big room stuff. So we use this platform called Glue, not BIM 360 Glue. It's only Glue. So we use it. It's a Finnish company who come up with the same interface and something like that. So I know about Iris VR also. But wanted to ask you, like, what industry are you, like, what projects are you looking at? Are you looking at healthcare and a restaurant, or other heavy construction projects also?
Well, I have worked on residential, healthcare, and it was actually a school, so I'm not sure what they would call it, a mixed-use building, to be honest with you.
Okay, and what part of India it is happening?
Hyderabad.
Okay, wow, this is great.
But again, it was never a requirement from the client side. It was something I had to do voluntarily to, give them an experience,
promote this kind of
promote the technology, as well as to get the work, as well as to get the job,
Yeah.
But
Great
again,
job.
it helps you in retaining those clients, because this guy, he came back to me for construction of his own house once I did some other projects for him. So it helps in retainage. But again, if you give them once for free, it keeps repeating,
Okay, but this is great. Like, promoting these kind of platforms is a very good initiative, I think.
Yeah.
Like, being an architect, I think I tried to push it in Pune, but I mean, I don't know how they take it, because people are really uncomfortable wearing the VR headsets.
At first, it could obviously cause some to a small scale of nausea to people who are using it for the first time, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah. Thanks.
So Ajaz and Muhammad Ikram Ali have pretty similar question, that what application is used for VR. There are several tools. Revit, right at the top. You could use Revit and have multiple plugins like Iris VR, Enscape 3D to simulate a VR environment, or else you could even be using Unreal Engine. It is a gaming platform. It takes a lot of work, but again, the output is much better than what you see in Revit. The equipment uses Oculus Rift. I got it from the US, so I'm not sure how costly it is in India, but I did get a quotation from Reliance Digital, and they were asking about upwards of 70,000. No problem. Adnan, can you unmute Rajesh? He wants to ask something.
Yeah. Unreal Engine or Unity? Which one preferable?
Unreal. I've only worked on Unreal, so I can say Unreal.
Okay, like throwing the model to Unreal and then giving an VR stand.
Revit, 3ds Max, and then onto Unreal Engine.
Okay, so post-processing in Max and then throwing it to Unreal
Revit.
Engine.
It also depends on what people are asking for. We could also have V-Ray involved somewhere.
But this gives a static image. Like how can you involve V-Ray in Unreal?
No, yeah, obviously, when you're talking about a combination of things, by using VR, what you can do is create a panoramic image, which can be, which can be coded in HTML to provide you a static VR rather than one where you can travel around the facility.
Okay.
Factors essentially is about the lost opportunity in planning extensively to be able to identify the risk element on the project, or to be able to identify the wastage in productivity, in terms of productivity. So yeah, those were something that we had considered. Typically, what we did on the project that I will be showing up in the next in the next session is we compared our rates, like what we had achieved per unit to what the market generally pays, and we were able to come up with the number that is that's like 17% reduction in the rate per unit of construction. So essentially, yeah, it's time related and more about labor productivity.
Yes, Rajesh, I think you have some question.
Yeah, another thing was like, what was the standard exchange format? Was it IFC?
Not IFC, because from Revit to 3ds Max, it's pretty much straightforward, and then you have FBX onto Unreal Engine. So we kind of had clear-cut interoperable models.
Okay. So Unreal is able to like import OBJ or FBX.
FBX straight away. It pick up FBX with all the functional characteristics of the building, or even even more. It can even take up Revit models directly via plugin by the name Datasmith.
Datasmith. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be really good, Ahmed, if you could just put the workflow and just show what do you say, like a time lapse or something, like how do you did that? Because the thing, what I think is like being an architect and all the guys who are in the group, sometimes I feel that we all talk about all this jargon of VR, AR and everything.
Obviously, but standards are not.
But the thing is like, we are architects, we are not technical guys. Like from what I have learned here in 1.5 years working in Finland, is like obviously these guys are way ahead in terms of gaming industry and stuff. What I could understand is like we talk all about the jargon, but we are never able to visualize it. So what I'm saying is like if you could put this on, it would be really beneficial. Adnan, what do you think?
I will actually. Well, what I will do is I will actually prepare a workflow kind of information exchange sheet according to the BIM standards. I'll prepare that information exchange sheet, and hopefully Adnan will have it up on the various platforms. Yeah.
Sure, I can do that for you.
Yeah.
I've made note of what the information exchange requirements are, and I'll get back to you. Nice point you made.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, Ajaz has a question: is AR simultaneously used along with VR?
Yes, Asia.
Something that it's something that is used more for the augmented reality part is something that is used more for furniture or space management, or more importantly for planning. VR is just for an immersive experience. What the video you saw in the first with the robots, it's actually augmented reality, it's AR. And the device they use might be Microsoft mixed reality headsets. They are manufactured by various IT companies like Dell, Lenovo. Everyone has their own. It's based on Microsoft's mixed reality platform. And we have Kunal Chaudhary asking how much VR is implemented in engineering. Means is it limited to buildings only or other structures like dams, roads, and bridges? Actually, countries that have picked up this technology are using augmented reality particularly for identifying. They have actually prepared models of existing conditions like for instance, talking about infrastructure, they have ready-made. They have available models to identify what the land beneath us looks like. For instance, they have all the data of power lines or drainage lines or water lines running underneath it. So by using augmented reality, you will be able to identify these elements and be able to work around them rather than digging into them and causing damage. So yeah, this is one of those uses, and and again, it can be used for bridges, roads. I'm not sure it is being used in India, obviously, but elsewhere worldwide, it's being applied.
There's a question from Chaitanya. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Ahmed. This is Chaitanya. And as Rajesh said, I think so. It will be helpful for us to for the if you prepare the workflow, it will be helpful. Like what are the softwares do you be used for the VR? And there are a lot many applications. Like as you said, like IRS and Enscape and Lumion is also. I think so. They will be used for Lumion also. Maybe I think better if you could share the workflow. I think to us.
Okay, done. I will actually have a information exchange sheet up. I will share it with Dan, and he will probably share with every one of you guys. Look out for it. And Lumion actually will only give you a static image rather than a dynamic one. You won't be able to travel within the facility. Lumion only has the VR. It only generates a static image of the facility, so you won't be able to travel around in the facility. What you will be able to do is just look around.
Okay, yeah, fine. And yeah, okay.
So yeah, definitely I will put the information exchange sheet up. And Izaz had a question how VR is efficient to solve project management related issues. So yeah, project management, it's about making sure that things got done on time, under the cost, and with the quality that has been planned for. So yeah, by using VR, you're able to identify some risks. It helps in extensive planning. There are several things that goes unnoticed when you're planning on 2D. So by using VR, you're able to identify such issues. Again, as I said, I will be presenting another session on the same topic. I'll be putting up a case study. I couldn't do it due to some technical issues with the VR headset over here. So in the next session, definitely I will have that up for you guys, and I'll give out a case study and numbers that we achieved on the project that we did. So anyone else? Any other questions?
Ahmed, yeah. Chaitanya is here. And just I want to know if it is a Revit, just we have a system configuration like minimum 4 GB RAM. It should be there to configure our Revit software. And like similarly, if there is there any system configuration for these applications to work on this VR?
Actually, yeah, I just got done ordering a system, so I will be able to give it to you straight away. You need card which is VR ready and has minimum of 6 GB video RAM. It has to be a dedicated one. And more importantly, the biggest issue while you are using an Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, which are VR headsets, the biggest issue you face is it won't be connecting to each and every laptop. Laptops need to have a dedicated graphic card HDMI port rather than the one that bridges the GPU as well as the graphic card. So the traditional ones don't like, I would say 90% of the laptops, even though they might have that that functional capability of the graphic card, but they won't be able to accept Oculus Rift merely due to the fact that manufacturers connect your HDMI port to the on integrated graphic chip rather than the dedicated one. So yeah, you need to have a minimum of 6 GB VR ready graphic card. The one I use is NVIDIA 1060 6 GB version. And in terms of processor, you need 9th generation. That's you gotta have it. And RAM, pretty much 8 GB does it for you. But yeah, the minimum. This is the minimum that you have to take in. As Adnan was taking, Adnan or I guess Rajesh was talking about the nauseating effect it has on people who are putting on the headset for the first time. So the lesser configured system you have, although it might accept these devices, but it will have some latency issues, and it might cause people a certain degree of how do we say it? Nausea.
Okay, fine. Ahmad, I have another question. Like, I don't know whether it is right or wrong. Can I ask? Because I didn't work VR up to now.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Actually, just I have a doubt. Like, if we have to show it to the client, it should be shown through application, or else after exporting from that application, we can show them in the VR.
Do you play PUBG by any chance?
No, sorry.
So yeah, anybody who plays those games, they would be able to see how we navigate on those games. So this is exactly how you. This is exactly.
I have seen the screen and I have tried, but not get interested on that. But I don't know.
Okay, so exactly. That's exactly how you travel around on anything that is made using Unreal Engine. Using a VR is an option again. If you use it, you would be able to provide them better experience, but merely using a laptop itself is sufficient.
Actually, my question was like, I will use the VR by using, as you said, like if you go with the Enscape or whatever, maybe Unreal Engine, we need to use that VR in that application only, other else we can export that video and we can use the VR.
No, you will have to have those plugins and the software up and running. Yeah, you'll have to use it inside those applications because it is.
Yeah, actually, I worked with Lumion and Enscape, but just I have prepared the walkthrough, but I didn't go with the VR. So what I have done is I have prepared the walkthrough video and I have exported and I have submitted it to the client. So that's why I'm asking, like, after the export, who's the equipment, or there's within the app only we need to use.
Okay, I'll just share a link. You guys can open it up and look at one of the projects that we had done. This is the HTML coded static. What do we say? VR. Just a second, I'm bringing it.
Okay, fine. I'll look.
Yeah. So yeah, this is how you can show them. But again, this won't allow you to travel inside or outside of the facility on its own. You will have to have multiple such files, and you can also what you can do is have a Google Cardboard device, which is extremely cheap. You can use your own cell phone to put that into that device and give them sort of experience.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Rajesh, the encoding, it's pretty simple, straightforward actually. We created several images stitched together, and simply, by using the PHP script, I guess, via panoramic layer, the image, and it sits up and running over there.
Okay. Can you put that workflow also? That would be also great.
Yeah, sure. Next time, definitely it will be up.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's a question from Izaz. Izaz, are you there?
I can hear you now. Okay. How about the return on investment to the clients or the consumers, those who are using VR technology for their project?
To be honest, if you're asking about architects or designers, the return on investment will be roughly 2 projects. That's it. You will have everything that you have invested back. To the owners upfront, they won't be able to see it because when you complete the project and show them what the market faces, what the issues he would have faced if he had not gone with you guys. With VR, he would be able to judge how much he has saved.
How about contractors?
Yeah, contractors again, generally they prefer more the work, the better it is. So contractors definitely, they won't be in favor of having something that reduces their work, because rework again will give them more money. But in terms of training their unskilled laborers, if you will. So yeah, that's something that would benefit them. That's on the
Okay.
case study. Definitely, I'm going to show to you guys how.
Yeah.
We actually faced that kind of problem on our side, because the manpower that we had to bring in, because the site was on the outskirts, so we couldn't bring some skilled laborers to carry out some some tight jobs, if you will. So yeah, we trained them using VR, and we got some good results out of it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Ahmed, can you showcase about the Unreal Engine?
Yeah, Unreal Engine essentially
How
it's
does
a
it
gaming.
looks like actually? You can share your screen if you'd like to show us.
Actually, I don't have that on my laptop. I'll have to use my workstation that's being used by someone on my office. So yeah, I'll have some screenshots about it. So yeah, it's a free tool actually. It's free for some time. I'm not sure how long they will keep it free for. So it's a free tool. It's a gaming engine. It's essentially a post-processing software.
Right.
It's obviously it is not something that is exclusively made for architectural visualization. It's a gaming engine that has been multi-purpose for visualization of architecture.
Yeah, there's one question from me, Ahmed. Like you have mentioned the term IPD, the Integrated Project Delivery, and I believe like you have also applied it on a mosque project. Can you share a brief about like how was the outcome and what are the challenges that you have faced during that project?
Yeah, essentially, being a religious structure, the funding was, very, I wouldn't say less, but the cash flow was slow. This was right up there with the issues that we had faced. And again, one of the topmost issues we faced was the architecture over there. They had some, contemporary or classic that the workers had to do over there, and the people who specialize in that were they wouldn't travel all the way to the outskirts to do that job. So we had to hire the local manpower and train them using VR, explain them how these things are to be done. We also ran some simulations, 4D simulations, just for the sake of explaining them sequencing of casting some arches over there. So yeah, that this technology, it helped us. What we did is instead of getting steel templates made for constructing arches, we did some tweaking around. I actually I will go in deep in the next presentation about how we achieved that. But however, in brief, we saved approximately 17% compared to the market, and we were able to provide them what they wanted. And again, the guy who was getting it built, he had only come to our firm for design consulting. And looking at VR, I'm not sure what clicked, but he gave us the project. So yeah, that helped us.
Ahmed, like lot many people have no prior experience of coding, and like you said, for Unreal Engine, coding experience is required. Like if someone as a fresher would like to go into this field and explore it about like with a gadget as well, and by exploring the BIM models in the virtual reality or augmented reality, and so how you suggest these people to explore the VR in the BIM?
Coding on Unreal Engine is very similar to Dynamo. It's a bit more difficult, but again, anybody who knows what Dynamo is would be able to learn Unreal Engine. And also again, the coding part is not required for basic level modeling or basic level visualizations. If you're going for advanced level animations, that is, if you want, for instance, a door to open whenever you walk close to it, that is when this coding is required. Other than that, you're good to go. Again, if you're curious about it, you will definitely learn how these things work.
Okay. Right. I think like this VR application would be mostly useful by the real estate owners, the builders, and
Yeah.
I think so. And so
Yeah,
how
good point you made about real estate owners. Say building is being constructed, everything has been sorted out. The builders, what they look to do first is create, they look to build that demo sort of flat or demo villa beforehand to be able to provide the client's experience and have them, pre-book those buildings or flats or units before they are done. Using VR, you're able to, give them that experience even before you have started constructing the site. So yeah, this can be handy to them. Obviously, they will have to make that demo flat or villa or a demo unit. But again, VR will offer them that extra bit of technology to be able to, help those clients perceive what they would be getting beforehand.
Ahmed, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashwini has a question. Yes, Ashwini.
Yeah, Ahmed.
Yeah.
So, so actually I want to understand, like currently the capabilities of VR is like we get just want to understand on that, like we get a project and you have kind of like a static mode to present output, like, hey, I want the VR model to be done for 1 BHK room or something like that, and then you give the output. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing which I want to understand, let's say I want to really understand the VR interface with the software like Navisworks or Synchro. Hello?
Yeah.
So let's say we are doing a coordination, okay, BIM coordination, where we are managing different models and classes between the different model elements, which include fire, electrical, or plumbing, or structural architecture. And let's say we want to take a step ahead and we want to really dive into the VR. So how efficient it is, and like how feasible it is to really take the client to make them understand by using the software interface like Navisworks or Synchro for schedule and planning. Have you tried out those kind of interface?
The project that I have currently done on VR, it did not. It was totally limited to structural and architectural, modeling. So we did not have MEP. So we did not go through the Navisworks, clash detection and all those things. So we did not work on that platform. However, it was purely for the purpose of having that owner experience his facility, and if he had any change request, he would do it upfront rather than having it when they go into it. However, what you mentioned is extremely possible. It is being done. The owners are able to go into that facility. Again, Navisworks pretty much would be an engineering model rather than a finished architectural visualization, if you will. So I would say that this is something that is more on a planning stage for planners to be able to get into that facility and identify elements that they find would be risky, or for example, a path where you would have to be lifting a generator into it. That limitations and everything would be they would be able to identify them beforehand using Navisworks. But in terms of clients, they would be more interested into architectural visualization and artistic visualization, if you will. Anybody who would be finding any issue in any part of the building which is being constructed, they would be able to use that augmented reality headset to identify it and send it back to the concerned consultant to fix it and send it back again, rather than having the conventional raise RFI method. So yeah, that's something that is being used.
Which part of Turner is using? Is it like India or UK? Oh, sorry, US. US.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Actually, I was in Turner last year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they are doing it over there. They had to actually make that headset on their own. It's not something that comes from the factory. So yeah.
Quite interesting. Yeah. Quite interesting.
But again,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So currently, if I just want to understand, like the client's requirement from the VR is in the architectural visualization, right?
It depends.
Like they want to.
It depends. There was this more than architecture. It could also be about space management, about
Space management,
space
right, right.
management. And for instance, MEP.
Mhm.
There are certain clients who would want to conceal the MEP MEP whatever the equipment is driving from. So they would be requiring to conceal them. So even to them it would be beneficial. Again, it's architectural part, but again that would be beneficial to them.
That's true. That's true. Right.
But
right,
again,
right. That's great. I mean, yeah.
It's not something that they are looking for. It's something that they come across and don't like.
They came across and they don't like.
Yeah. No, I mean, what I'm saying is it's not something that they would be coming in with a mind made up. This might be something that they were not expecting in the design, and they experience it in VR. For instance, just showing them a 3D image of the facility would not be able to deliver that bit of information. So this is something that they would just be able to pick up and say that I don't like certain things.
Right. Correct. So they can make quick decision on the time when they are in the VR model. Yeah. So how many instances have been like that where client have really got benefit like this, like being in the VR model, they have given suggestions like, hey, I want quickly to get replaced like this, and then you guys have made it quickly and then achieve some sort of thing.
So the numbers from conventional delivery is just like 7%, up to 7% is the change related non-productive issues. So you can expect that is how much they would be able to bring down.
Okay.
And in the case study that we would be presenting in the next part, we had this guy come into the facility, and he wanted a opening from between two floors, like he wanted a certain piece of slab deducted from the design. So that was like about 30 by 30 piece of concrete that we had to remove, which would have been difficult had he came in later. We had to make some changes to the structure as well. So that can be, we could, in the end, I will probably prepare benefit sheet for him that he got out of BIM. And I would
exactly, because that benefit sheets are something which will really help us to stay strong on these paths, because we get the questions and people want the like the real value that we are providing, and these real time countermeasures which we can provide in terms of value engineering sheets will really help us to win more projects. That's true.
Obviously, what I feel is they want to see that the amount that they have actually ended up saving. They want to see that cash. That is the amount that they did not spend. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you are able to quantify those things in the benefit sheets, I think that is the best thing for us to move forward in this direction.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm even like moving forward regarding the construction planning and construction monitoring. I mean, like using VR technology in that. So
actually, I had the device in the BIM boot camp. I was there in the first day and left in the same evening. I couldn't meet you. You were at the event in the second day, I guess.
Yeah. I was second day. Second day was my session. Yeah.
So yeah, any more questions?
Yes, Rajesh has some question.
Yeah, sure, Rajesh.
I think I asked it already. He answered.
Okay. So, is there any other questions from the participants?
So yeah, Jaideep is answering. C++ is used for scripting and
question, like how did you took the courses on Udemy or was it on Coursera?
Yes, Rajesh, you were asking something, the Udemy or Coursera?
Not yet. However, if anybody, you know, if you guys want the easy way out of this, then the best you know, putting up cost for that later on. So you guys could download Twinmotion. It doesn't require the, you know, coding part, and our functional has some limitations compared to Unreal Engine, but that would probably be able to, you know, help you out in using VR, and they also offer courses free of cost for that.
Yeah. But what do you think, Enscape or Twinmotion? Which one is better?
Enscape would be much quicker because when you have the let's say you have the Enscape plugin to Revit, you would be able to generate VR much quicker than, you know, again, you will have to, you know, export all the files from Revit onto Twinmotion and, you know, apply all the materials again, and, you know, that would be time consuming for you. So instead you could go ahead with Enscape, but Twinmotion is free of cost. So yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
How much time does it take to prepare VR model for 12 floor building? It depends on how quick you are. Generally, generating VR isn't that big of a task. It's about detailing the building, just like you conventionally do. VR is just a perspective, so it wouldn't take much of a time. Please ping the name of the software. We are not able to hear you clearly. I'll just put a small workflow over here.
Just when you're putting it, I just wanted to ask Adnan. Adnan, if you could do a session on, you know, like what is VR and what is AR, because there's a huge dilemma between like what the hell is VR. Because when I was in India, in Pune, and I was talking in BNC College of Architecture, half of the people didn't understand what is VR.
Sure.
Everyone was just asking me what is VR. You know, I think that is very important for the architectural students. Like they must understand what exactly is VR. Is it just a publishing platform or something? Because when we guys talk, then it becomes really difficult. Like Ashwani is now talking directly about operations and on that phase. But then the students are really, architectural students are really, it gets really difficult for them.
There's few questions for you, Ahmed. Can you see the chat box?
Yeah, I've put it up. I've put up the software that I had used in the sequenced order, and yeah, so in the next part we'll definitely list out the difference between AR and VR. Out. And also we will have a live stream of the VR and the way it is, like the way we work over here. In the next part, definitely we'll have it up.
Yeah, and another even like a few of the participants were asking about your contact number. If it's possible, can you share your contact number with them?
Definitely. I'll just write it up.
Yeah. Yes, Ashwani. Yes, Ashwani.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So, I just want to know, like, regarding the way I think the Rajesh was also speaking in terms of like AR. So, have we got any kind of like hands-on on the AR capabilities in terms of project that we have delivered?
I actually have a case study that I have done on my own, like from the design stage to the execution also. So yeah, that is something that we'll be presenting in the next part.
Okay.
Including all the recommendations and all the questions that people have asked. We'll have everything in the next slide. In the next part, we'll definitely have everything over there.
Ahmed, do you work with what do you say? Do you have some guy from the IT background in your office who's expert in coding and someone?
Actually, it's something that we don't have a guy at our office, but I know a few people who will from time to time they will probably come and help me out, whatever I'm facing or whatever issue that comes up.
Okay.
because once you get around these things, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So unless and until you have certain custom requirement from a client, you probably wouldn't be needing much help from anybody else.
Okay.
And I think, Rajesh, what is also like, if you are a kind of person who can work around the dynamo scripting, like some of visual programming and all, then I think working around with this Unreal engines and all is more like, if you're more curious, you can get around with that.
Yeah.
So the software teams are someone who will be very code developer in terms of like C or C++ or maybe like Python and all. So that level is very high. But what we are doing is kind of where we can easily grasp these things if you have the curiosity. So yeah, somewhere we are in the mid right now. But yeah, if something requires very hardcore coding, then we may need some support.
Okay.
Okay. So anybody else with any questions? Because like it's late for me. I have to leave from the office for home. So hopefully in the next part we will have a much broader perspective on VR, including a case study, as well as I'll include everything that you guys have asked. So yeah, we are hoping. Thanks everybody for making the session exciting, and thanks Adnan for hosting. And
thank you, Ahmed, for coming. Thank you, Ahmed, especially for coming here and giving us the time and explaining about the VR. And it's really appreciable that you take out so much of time from yours for getting
That's fine.
up this effort.